What's up guys, and welcome back to Project Z Garage. Today we're going to be working on a 2009 Maserati Quattroporte. This is the 4.7 liter V8 motor and it needs a full brake job. Today we're going to be focusing on the rear, and then in the next video we're going to be doing the front. Now this car from factory comes with some giant brakes. We're talking about 4-piston in the front, and I think there's 4-piston in the rear. I think there's 6-piston in the front. Really giant wheels, brakes, and they look really nice. It has this really nice gray finish, but as you can see, these have seen better days.
Actually, if you feel the back, you can feel the lip on the back, and it's got much more wear in the back than it does in the front.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to take a look at that.
So we're going to be doing brake pads and rotors in this video, and pretty much go through all the steps and what we do to get them changed out. Now in this video I want to also give a big thanks to Top Euro Parts, because if you guys have one of these cars, you understand how hard it is to find parts for this, especially if you're doing this stuff on your own. Like I was saying, if you have the right tools and you get the parts from a good distributor, you can work on any of these cars yourselves. You don't really need to go to no specialty shop to do it. Now if I can get to the engine prop, there you see the 4.7 liter V8, beautiful engine, but as you can see, everything's covered up, so to do any work on this you got to take all these covers off. But back to finding parts. So I reached out to Top Euro Parts, and these guys really hooked it up. Gave them the VIN number, gave them the type of brakes that were on there. I sent them pictures, so they double and triple confirmed that all the parts that they have and put together a kit for me would fit this car. So let's take a look at this. These are the front, which are massive rotors. Like if you see there, like my hand compared to this thing is gigantic, and it's also vented around the hub. And next to it here we have the rear. You see they're nice and drilled. Fronts are drilled also. So this is definitely a nice upgrade for this car. And they also included, let's go through all this, all the parts you need: new sliders, all the pieces for the top. If you look here, all the pins for the calipers are in here. So a really complete kit. Also, they gave us a set of brake pads and sensors, wear sensors, so you don't have to go and look for those. And they're all at a very good price. Please reach out to them. I spoke to Pete, and
all new hardware.
Yeah, all new hardware. So definitely reach out to Top Euro Parts. I'm gonna put all their information in the description below. I spoke to Pete and Luke, and those guys were great. Sent them all the information I had on the car, and they worked with me to get everything I need to get this job done. Alright, so now let's just get started. We're going to be working on the rear. Al already has the rear tire off, which is huge. If you see there in the background, this is a 295 on this tire. Well, on this rim, 295 tire. So this is running a 295 30 ZR20 tire, which is huge. Definitely for the power this engine puts out, it would be awesome to keep that power to the ground. So we got the tire off, and now we're working on the caliper. These rear nuts to take the caliper off are a 10mm Allen head. If you look here, I'm gonna try to put all the tools and sizes in the description so you guys can take a look and see if it matches up for you guys. So right now Al's going to be taking a punch and slowly push out these pins, but I believe he's already taken off. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know, we should just take off the top first.
Yeah. So once you get it loose with a little punch, you can push down the spring on the top and then just slide the pin out. And we have all new pins that were provided by Top Euro that we're going to replace all this with. always keep track of what you're doing. That's why it's always a good idea to do one side first, and you can always go back to the other side if you get confused where something goes. So that's the spring. I guess that's the spring, right? That holds the pads in
where they need to be.
Yeah, so we got a new one of those, and then I was gonna work on taking that bottom pin out. There you go. Yeah, once you get it out, it's good. All right, there's the next one. Perfect. Now we're gonna pull the sensor out of the brake pad, right back there. Get some lights so you can see what he's doing.
I think the parking brake might be holding on.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we might need to turn off the parking brake.
Okay,
all right,
so let's do that.
Let's do that first.
All right, so Al's removed the brake sensor already, and now he's pulling the brake pads off. These are the old ones. So we're gonna remove those.
All right.
And then we're gonna start loosening up the bolts that hold the caliper onto the hub. And I'm gonna try to get all the torque specs and put them in the description so you guys can have an idea of what it is. But I believe it's supposed to be around like 35, 38 pound-feet of torque, something like that. But I'll double check and we'll put that in. And the way that it works on this one, it actually holds on the center, kind of like a drum for the electric handbrake. So Al's got the...
How far is this screwed in?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's probably in there pretty deep. All right, so
These
we're
are
just
13.
gonna hang those up.
I don't know if this is right though. This is what it came in. I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to be.
With those nuts
13 with this, with a lock washer like this? Is that the way they have it?
I don't know, that's how it is on this car. So we're just working with what we have.
Interesting.
Got some rust there.
All right, we'll be back in a minute.
So now the handbrake is released, so Al should be able to pull the rotor off now. And voila. So this just shows you what the inside of the electric handbrake looks like. A lot of cars, even with the regular manual handbrake, have a setup like this where it's inside the drum of the rotor is where it presses on it for the handbrake to hold. It doesn't actually use the caliper to apply the handbrake. So we're gonna clean this off, spray it down with some brake cleaner, make sure everything looks good, and then we're gonna throw the new rotor on, and we're gonna start reassembling everything. All right guys, so we're gonna put on the new rotor. All right, we're gonna put the two nuts back in. Those were 13?
Yep.
Alright, now we already test fitted the sensor onto the brake pad just to make sure it was good. And Al just with his hand was able to push the pistons in, so we can slide that back on. Alright guys, so we replaced the two nuts that hold the caliper on, and because those are supposed to be stretch bolts, so you should replace them. Try to get the port number and put it in the description so you guys know. Now we're just going to replace the pads.
I'm gonna have to push the pistons in some more.
Yeah, you might have to push them in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to get the other side of the brake pad in. Really easy. Not too hard to do. Probably easier than a regular caliper pad switch. And now we got to put the sensor on. But before you do the sensor, I think you should put the pins in, or you're going to push the pads too far in.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right.
So,
all right, now do you have new hardware for this?
Yes. Top Euro gave us all new hardware, the spring for the top of the pads, and also the new pins. Yeah, you can put the bottom pin on first, and then you can slide the spring in.
I'm gonna have to get a thing to push it because it's a little.
Yeah, we'll use the punch, and then you just lightly tap it to get it in. All right, guys. So we got the new pins in, we got the new spring pad retainer thing in. We just pushed back on the pad's wear sensor. You know, it has a little thing, just follow it back to where the plug is. I think you can see it back there. And we tightened all the bolts down for the caliper, and we torqued it. As you can see, it all looks really nice. Yeah, so I was just wiping down the rotors, so where the pad's gonna touch, so we don't have any fingerprints or oils on there, and it's nice and clean. Everything looks really nice right now. You're stepping on the. Just so you guys know what it looks like, this is the other end of the pad wear sensor. So all you gotta do is follow the actual pad sensor back, and you'll see where it plugs in. Definitely further back than on most cars, but I guess it's just to keep the plug out of the weather and things like that. But there it is. It's actually on the arm there. You can see it. So he's gonna unplug that, and pretty much the job is done. That's pretty much the rear setup. The next video we're going to work on the front, which will be a lot easier. This is probably the harder part of the install, is to do the rear. If you like our videos, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like, share, all that good stuff, and we will catch you guys in the next video.